Hello.
Flop.
Yep, we've done it. We've opened up a video in Photoshop. Okay, so over the years in the latest HOI4 DLCs, Paradox have been adding a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of secret paths, a whole bunch of stuff that people enjoy. As such, today we are completing our slop quota by having a tier list of all the best secrets and Easter eggs and secret paths in HOI4. Now, I'm going to be real with you, I went with the main paths, the ones that stick out to me, so there are a few little Easter eggs and things that I haven't put in, but these are the main ones, and probably the ones that you're going to want to see on a tier list. Okay, first off, Wojtek, the bear you can get as your leader in Poland. Now, in base game HOI4, there are a couple like secret leaders that you could get. You could get Wasser's Chops in Australia for neutral. I think that's gone now though, sadly. But this one is still around from when the game released. Is Wojtek. He is an actual bear that existed in the Polish army, and there is a bit of a convoluted way you actually get him as your leader of Poland, and there is an achievement tied to it. But that's about it. There are no more secret paths to this. I think it does play into like the Jan Mayen secret one. I can't remember. I haven't actually done it all looked into it, but he is pretty much, you know, he's a C tier. He would go a bit lower considering there's not a lot left for you to do once you get Wojtek. It's just a generic little portrait that you get, really. Hey, but it is nostalgic for the start of the game, and actually finding something kind of tucked away that was, you know, a bit convoluted to get to. Okay, we just did Wojtek. We might as well do Grand Admiral Johan Mayen, who is the polar bear leader you can get as Jan Mayen. I can't remember specifically how you get this, but again, it's just a generic portrait. You don't really get anything extra from it, and it is a cheap copy of our boy Wojtek. I mean, and as far as I'm aware, it is even more convoluted than getting Wojtek himself, so I'm actually going to put it down in D tier. I mean, it's a cool portrait, I gotta give you that, and Jan Mayen is a kind of overlapping Easter egg in Paradox's game, but there's not much to it. Okay, I wasn't too sure where to actually put this thing, but we're gonna just kind of loop them in all together here in all the extra places that Mr. Mustache Man himself can turn up. So with every like new DLC, Paradox adds a new place that Mr. Hitler himself can actually flee to. As such, there are like 500 different portraits and, you know, different circumstances that he can now appear. And I guess it is a bit of funny continuity for the original, which was, you know, Senor Hilter. But other than the Argentina path, I'm pretty sure none of them actually have any flavor to them, and I have split up the Argentina path from it, and I guess, you know, it is a bit overarching, a bit funny to see where he might turn up, so I'm gonna put it in C tier with Wojtek. Okay, since we're talking about people with mustaches, here's a man with no mustache. Okay, now as far as I'm aware, there are no other paths that he could turn up in that actually gets you new focuses. There might be one with the new Austrian guy you can get, the painter. I haven't actually looked into it too much, but I know for specifically, Senor Hilter does actually come with some focuses. Yeah, the Fourth Reich is a bit of a meme, but it does get some pretty powerful focuses, and you can get all of like South America and Germany as cores. As such, I am going to put him up in B tier. It's not my favorite like secret little path. It is a little memey, and it's not hard to do in the slightest, but it does have a variety of different content, which is what I like to see in a secret path, and a lot of secrets don't have them. Okay, next up is Trotskyite Mexico. It's actually pretty good. I do like the gameplay of it, building up, you know, your big communist revolution in the New World and coming back to slap Stalin, but I'm not entirely sure if it's so secret compared to the rest of these. But I guess in terms of gameplay and stuff like that, it would have to be kind of on the same tier as Senor Hilter. You know, it's not the craziest gameplay, but it is the most memorable path for Mexico, so I am going to put it up there in B tier. Okay, speaking of cursed images, where is his mustache? So Paradox added a new exile portrait for Stalin if he gets overthrown. I can't remember specifically if you have to do the White Russian Civil War or just any of them for him to get on the leadership of Georgia, but it doesn't come with like any extra, you know, content or anything. That it is just a portrait trait, and I think he gets one little trait, and that's about it. So I think it's only fitting you go down here. I mean, it is pretty cool, like having Stalin with no mustache, I guess. But it really doesn't come with much, and I'm pretty sure if you go the Trotskyite path and then release all the Soviet republics, he's just down there in Georgia as your puppet. So, you know, yeah, D tier. Okay, punish King Gustav V in Sweden. This is if you get the Civil War and you're going for the Return of the King achievement, you can get the fleeing to Gotland. The only neat thing about this, and I don't know if Paradox have changed it to make that Civil War harder, you're supposed to actually like come back from Gotland and have a big fight to reclaim the mainland, but it didn't really play out like that for the achievement when I did it, and it was just, you just won immediately. So the only thing that's like kind of RNG of it is after the Civil War and you survive it, he does get a random trait selected, or maybe it's after the assassination attempt that leaves him one-eyed, but it is a dice roll. My only problem is when I played it, it did not work, and you just immediately won the Civil War, and there's like no more content. That's why I'm gonna put it down in F tier. Again, the only real bonus for you to ever do the King Gustav Punish Eye Patch edition is that you may get one of the good traits you can roll for him, but it is a RNG dice roll if you do. So it's a lot of hassle for not a lot of gain. Okay, next up is the Principality or the Monarchist path for Finland, which again doesn't add anything. I think this one's even more criminal for the simple fact that actually you have to wait a lot of time because you do need to get the construction, I can't remember if it's a resource gain or just the construction tools to actually go, which is like a 1940 tech, and then you only get one focus, which is to bring the monarchy back. And personally, I think that is a lot of faff when there are much better paths as Finland to do. But it does have more content than both Jan Mayen and Exiled Stalin, so they do get one focus compared to no focuses, so I think to be a bit of objective here, we're just going to put the ones with no content at all that are very convoluted and have no real benefit to them in F tier. So we're going to put King Gustav up and then move the Monarchist Finland path into D tier. Yeah, and I think the only reason I'm keeping these two up here is one, Wojtek was the OG Easter egg that I remember, and of course all the different Schmittler locations, they're not great, they don't add too much other than Senor Hilta, but it's a nice bit of continuity from Paradox. Okay, next up, Anastasia Romanov as Poland. This one is actually got quite a bit of content. So Anastasia is definitely very, very powerful for Poland for the simple fact I actually have this really cool high production value here. Is actually really good for this one, Proclaim Slavic Unity, which means you can get all of Yugoslavia and the Soviet Union and a whole bunch of the Balkans cored. And Poland's not a terribly hard nation to play, and if you hold off both the Germans and the Soviets, you're going to be incredibly powerful. So getting all those cores as Poland is probably the best path you could really go. She's also not hard at all to get as your leader. All you have to do is reject the candidacy a couple times. I haven't done it in a long time, until it goes around again, and then you get this random crackhead essentially. But with her crack tendencies, she does come up with some great ideas, like coring the entire Soviet Union. As such, we gotta put her up in A tier. Okay, next up, it's obviously gonna be the Papacy path for Italy. Really good path. I enjoy the Italian focus tree, but the thing I like about it is not only do you get more focuses, a whole bunch actually, you also get the super heavy variant thing with that, I think it's called the Hand of God, which is completely useless, but it is a meme. What I like about it is you still have so much to do in the Italian tree. You can still go down like Mare Nostrum and stuff like that, and you just get the extra bonuses. I think you also get the focus for the Iberian protection, so you get Spain and Portugal as puppets if they accept, which they usually do. And again, it's not hard to get, so it's not exactly in terms of secret paths or Easter eggs, the most Easter eggy or secret paths, but it does come with a lot of content, which is what I think makes a good secret path really good. Yeah, so as such, you know, you guys know I love the Italian tree, so I'm gonna go put it up in S tier, and I'm not sure if anything else could probably, you know, sneak on up there. Anastasia could maybe get up there. We'll have a little think at the end, but the Papal Italy, definitely S tier. Okay, something that's definitely not S tier is Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein sucks. Yeah, it's one of those secret paths that I just kind of stumbled across. I didn't even mean to do it. I played it recently on the channel, if you guys remember, and you just kind of, it's not hard to do. You also don't get anything for it. I mean, you do get the one focus to buy Alaska that could potentially be worthwhile, because if you were going to go ahead and need a foothold in the Americas, that could work pretty well. But when I did it, they didn't accept, so I didn't get Alaska. Yeah, there's not a lot of content for Liechtenstein, and on top of that, there's already so many damn formables as Austria that it just gets lost in the mountain of stuff that they could do. So I'm going to put it down in D tier. Unlike Sweden-Hungary, the United Kingdom of Sweden-Hungary, to be precise. Okay, I think this has definitely got to be in A tier. It doesn't have a lot of extra content, but you do get so damn powerful having both Sweden and Hungary's stupid little economies put together. And, you know, I am a sucker for stupid names, so the United Kingdom of Sweden-Hungary definitely, like, ticks that box for me. Plus, it's just so weird and dumb and really just nonsensical that I just gotta give it credit. Plus, look at that flag. Yeah, they don't get a lot of content or anything like that specifically, but the best part is it is obviously just a normal path for Hungary, and then an added bonus if you somehow make it up to Sweden. And if you do, your economy it goes insane. I did a video on it recently on the main channel. Go look at that if you need to see any more detail on why this is in A tier. Okay, Victoria, another one I'm definitely gonna put up in A tier. You know, it doesn't have a lot of content, and they have added a new focus for Germany now for the HRE, and you get a whole bunch of land stuff, whatnot. It's just one of those ones that is super memorable for me, because I remember when this DLC came out, I was literally scouring, but because I got it a little bit early, I think, and I was scouring everything I could to how you got Victoria, and I did it. The first video I uploaded on the DLC, I think, was this path before anyone else had done it. So for that, it is super memorable for me, and, you know, it is a good path. I guess better now. It doesn't really make you off any better if you were going to do a monarchist run as Germany, but come on, it's Victoria. Oh, sorry, I just noticed I'm putting, you know, all the hotties up in A tier here. That includes Sweden-Hungary, by the way. Okay, let's break the trend. It's Queen Elizabeth. A lot of people don't actually know that you can get Queen Elizabeth in this game, albeit it is super convoluted on how you get it and a little bit RNG. I think I can't remember specifically, but I know you have to go the king's path, I believe, and obviously keep him in charge. And then if the AI puts bombers up over London, that you have the option to well, you don't have the option. He dies. And then somehow the queen gets in charge. Funnily enough, I have actually seen her appear in a normal game before. It was one recently, and I completely forgot to even put it in the video because it was super late towards the end. But I think that was like the first time I've ever seen Queen Elizabeth in the wild. Now, she don't get no more content or anything like that, but what she does get is some corgi advisors that are unique to her path, which, you know, they're pretty damn cute, right? Yeah, but it's one of those that is kind of tucked away so secret that even though it doesn't have a lot of content, I do kind of like it because it can happen in your game. Kind of like the Franco-Britain Union, which, you know, I haven't put in this tier list because it's not so much a secret path as much as it is never going to happen. But it is kind of in there. And sometimes if you roll the dice, it could turn up. And it has turned up in one of my games. And it is definitely one of the rare ones. But I'm not going to put it in A tier because, again, I don't think that's incredibly fitting when I've criticized other paths for having literally no content. So instead, I'm going to put it in like a low B tier. You know, it's Queen Lizzie. She's in her box right now. Rest in peace. But it is one of those little things that could happen in your game. And you'd be like, wow, cool. Okay, very last one I have here for today, Eva Braun. I haven't even done this on the channel yet, just because, you know, it's kind of dumb. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't come with any extra content, and it is super convoluted to actually get. It is also super weird in general, so I'm not entirely sure where to put it, because I haven't personally played it, and I don't think they get any new content. It's like I said, and it is just a punished kind of portrait. Punished Eva Braun. Personally, I'm thinking like it's got to go down with King Gustav, right? There's nothing crazy about it. There's nothing insane about it. And as far as I'm aware, you kind of have to be going pretty badly as Germany to even get it. Yeah, a lot of people did criticize it as well because it's obviously leaning more into the weird kind of things that HOI4 mods do. It's very Kaiser Redux, so let's put it that way. Personally, I don't give a damn about that stuff. I think as long as it doesn't impede a normal game, it's pretty nice to have all this weird stuff that you could potentially do because, you know, I got a lot of hours in HOI4. Sometimes I want to do something weird that's tucked away and convoluted to do. I want to do that, all right? It's a nice little bit of added flavor to the game. Well, not flavor, I guess. More of a, you know, a side of fries. But personally, you know, it's not that great for me. Like, there are so many other paths you could do as Germany. Like, why would you not do Victoria? Victoria just seems way better than Eva Braun, and you don't have to lose, you know, to the Czechs or whatever. And obviously, being no extra content or anything like that, and you do kind of have to tank your Germany game to even get them, it's like, come on, man. Do I really want to do that? No. But, you know, I'm kind of happy with this list straight off the bat here. I can't think of anything that would be different. Maybe, you know, in all fairness, we probably put Elizabeth down one. You know, she doesn't really deserve to be in the tier of nations that do actually have content. And obviously, this is all my personal preference. It's probably, you know, a little bit hypocritical to put ones like King Gustav and the Finnish one and Liechtenstein because, again, they do have content, way more content than Wojtek ever had in his life. But I would much rather look at Wojtek than this guy down here. Now, I know there's plenty more secrets and Easter eggs and little things here and there in the game, but for the most part, these are all the main ones I could think of. If there are any I have forgotten, don't blame me. Blame HOI4. It's rotted a good portion of my brain. So I guess if you've enjoyed the video and you have an opinion that is different from mine, maybe keep it to yourself. Maybe write it in the comments, actually. But yeah, I want to hear, what are your favorite paths to do in HOI4 that are kind of off the beaten path, a little bit weird, a little bit secret, stuff like that. And if there's any I've forgotten, again, let me know down below, because I'm sure there's probably something I've forgotten here. And if you haven't done any of these secret paths, I definitely recommend doing the ones I've put up here. Maybe not Victoria, because I imagine a lot of people have already done Victoria, but Papal, Italy, and Anastasia, and Sweden, Hungary are really good paths that you can do. Senor Hilter's a bit of a mean one, and I think there is an achievement tied to it that I've already done. So if you haven't done that achievement, it's really easy to get. But yeah, if there's anything I forgot, let me know down below, and I hope you've enjoyed your weekly slop, because monthly slop.